Welcome to the channel, guys. Today we're going to install the Crash Bobbins on a KTM 890 Duke car. Let's go. Pretty much set everything out here that we'll need in the same orientation that it will go on. If you're looking for the T45 rather than going out to Bunnings and getting a new one, it's actually in the toolbox of the bike. First up, on the side of the engine chassis, you'll want to just pop these little clips out here, the little push pins. Pop both them out. And we'll move on to loosening this bolt next. With those two push pins out and the engine chassis bolt, we'll move around to the other side. And we're going to do the same here. These two push pins out and the engine bolt again. Use a flat screwdriver again to pop those out. Pop those out. Just clip that one up and over. And move on to, we'll loosen this again with the T45. A little before we get started on this section. So we've got the bobbin here. The larger, well, it's a H8. It's going to go in the top here. Same again, another H8. And this one is a H6. So it's a smaller one. Smaller one is going to go here, larger one there, and the other one's for the bar that crosses all the way through the engine. We're going to be using Loctite on the end of each one of these. And we've got a choice of two of these. For the left-hand side, we use the longer one. That is going to go right in there to hold those cables in. We'll zip tie them together. Got the zip tie here, and for the lower one that we don't use, that's going to be the push pin in there. Alright, let's start all that. So with our Loctite on, be picking that up with the riding facing like so, and bring that up into position here. With the middle one only tightened up, we now need to move on to putting this in. So if we enclose that over those cables, slide it into place like that. Now I'm going to personally just zip tie this one up, these three cables, to keep them from going any closer to that header. Done that. They're nicely tucked away. Slide this back into place. Put them in behind it. Line that up. And we're putting the little T6 bolt back in here. With that tightened, this tightened, not all the way, but just a bit of free play. I want to add that little push pin in there and put the centre in. With the push pin in, we can move on to the bar that goes across the top of the engine. Slide that through. Line it up with there. And another T8 bolt. Line that up. The easiest way while you're tightening this up, you'll need to be holding it just in here as well to get your correct angle. With the cables going the other side of that bar, down to here, we'll get this piece. Just slide it in there. Into place, just make sure they're tucked in away nicely. Installing the little push pins down in here, found it's easier actually, rather than the one supplied, it's easier to go with the original. It's actually a better fit. So we just poke that one in there, hold that in place, and we'll continue with the rest. So it's easier just to do the middle one up first. So we put that in place, and now tighten that. You can see where it just lines up there. So it lines up here, and perfect fit just up here. Tighten this one. With that in place, T6 bolt, just line that one up through there. If you're having issue lining this hole up with this one, you can always just put a flat screwdriver in here, just wedge it into place, line it up. Last one, I'm going to use the T8 for this one. Put that. When tightening this cross section here, you're going to have to use a 8mm on this side, hold that while you tighten the other side. One more thing, have known some of these to fall or get loose on the highway, so it's not a bad idea to pull these out and put a bit of Loctite on them, tighten them up just to be sure. With a bit of Loctite on there, just tighten that up there. Having completed the process on the other side, there we have it, that's a wrap.